Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 edition of the Cern Web Fest. It's our pleasure to be with you all today. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Andrew Purcell, and I'm joined here today by my colleague. Christina, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. So I'm Christina. I'm the Junior Communications Officer and one of the main Webfest 2021 organizers, along with our great team here, our great helpers. So
the two of us will be guiding you through the Webfest this weekend, but we are just two members of a large team who you'll get to know throughout the weekend, who have worked really hard over the last weeks and months to make this Webfest possible. We're really glad that you can all join us for this hackathon, which, as you know, is based on open web technologies. The web was born at CERN, so we think that that's very appropriate. And our event, although it's been running since 2012, this is only the second time that it's run online this year. So I'm really pleased to share with you all that we have 285 registered participants and that you come from 63 countries spread all across the globe. We've been thrilled over the last weeks to receive your exciting project ideas. We received many innovative ideas. There are 29 in total. And the main point of today's session is to go through those project ideas with you and to help you all discuss and come together to choose the projects that you would like to work on throughout this weekend. So with no further ado, I'm going to pass over to my colleague Christina, who's going to introduce the first of our special videos for this event.
So first of all, Alberto Di Meglio, the head of CERN Open Lab, would like to give you a warm welcome of the Webfest 2021 and introduce the topic of the SDGs to us. So please, let's go ahead and share the video.
Hi, my name is Alberto Di Meglio. I'm the director of CERN Open Lab, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to this year's CERN Web Fest. For CERN Open Lab, the education and training activities like the summer student program are really at the core of our mission. For us, it is an investment into the future to prepare the newer generations of scientists, of researchers, able to work in an international environment, a very diverse environment like ours. Last year, for necessity, we transformed our usual residential summer student program into an online event. This year, especially for this hackathon, we have decided to exploit the additional opportunities given by this kind of online events to attract people, ideas, talents from all over the world. The theme this year is very important. It is science, society, and sustainability, and it is designed to be in support of the Sustainable Development Goals, especially the ones that CERN endorses and embraces. It is a very important, hot topic. New ideas and innovation in these fields are really needed to help us understand how to preserve our environment, Earth, and improve society for the future, for ourselves. And we count on you, on the participants of these hackathons, to come with your talent, with innovative ideas. We hope that you are able to think out of the box and really help us get a glimpse into the future, into what is possible to improve society, to do better science, to work in a greener way, in a more sustainable way. This is really our mission for this hackathon and for the future. So please enjoy this event and surprise us with your ideas. I look forward to seeing what comes out of this year's CERN Web Fest. Thank you very much.
So this was a great motivational speech from Alberto Di Meglio.
This is the world's largest 3D.
And now,
a startup that aims to print an entire rocket, including...
And it's simply another video playing, following on from Alberto's on YouTube. So apologies for that to all of you who are following. We are now going to go briefly through the timetable for this year's Webfest. As you know, this is the very first session of the 2021 event. So we wanted to give you a quick overview of what awaits over the next 2 days. We're currently in the opening ceremony. And as I mentioned earlier, the main point of today's session is to pitch the various project ideas, the 29 project ideas, and then to do some networking around those to help people decide upon their teams by 21:00 CEST this evening. Tomorrow, and again, just to be clear, all times here are CEST, so that's UTC +2. So tomorrow, we will have a general update and feedback session led again by Christina and myself. And then the first of our workshops for this weekend will take place. We're very pleased to present to you a number of exciting workshops. The first is on how to build a cosmic ray detector using Arduino and Raspberry Pi. And then that will be followed by the second workshop at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. CEST, which is all about how to deploy code documentation with Sphinx. At 4 p.m. CEST, we have an exercise stretching session. And at 5:30 p.m. CEST, we have a pop-up fun quiz, which we encourage you all to join just for a little bit of fun. And we're very pleased that our colleague Miguel Marquina will be leading that. That again, will only be the workshop, the quiz. We're talking about 20 minutes or so of your time. So we know that you're all going to be busy and focusing on your projects throughout the weekend, but we really do encourage you to take time out and, maybe not attend every single workshop if you don't feel like it, but maybe there's one or two that really pique your interest. Maybe you'd like to take part in the quiz or do some stretching if you've been sat down at your computer screen too long throughout the weekend. We really do encourage you to take part in those. And then at 6 p.m. CEST, we'll have another update and feedback session, again, led by Christina and myself. This is a way for us to address any common themes, any issues that are coming up on the chat channels so that we can really report back to you on any new developments with regards to how the Webfest is progressing. And at the end of the day on Saturday, we'll have another networking session. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about those networking sessions at the end of today's talks. Then on Sunday, really important in the morning, we've got a nice workshop on how to present your project, followed by yet another update and feedback session. And then another workshop at 12 noon CEST, all about how to create a simple video. And this is a really important task because we're asking you to create simple videos to present your projects at the end. Of course, this is an in-person hackathon, so rather than giving a presentation, we're asking you to create a video, which will then live on the Webfest website, but most importantly, will be shown at the end of the day on Sunday. So it's really good if at least one member of your team could take part in that and then help to put together a nice video showcasing the great work that you've done over the weekend. So hacking ends at 5 p.m. CEST on Sunday, which means your videos need to be submitted by 5 p.m. because just an hour later at 6 p.m. CEST, we'll be showing all of the video presentations. And then finally, the hackathon has ended on Sunday, but on Monday, we have our awards and closing ceremony. And we also have another workshop, which is about how to proceed with your project. So maybe over the weekend, you've really enjoyed what you're doing. Maybe you're inspired and you'd like to think about, okay, well, how do we take this forward now? Maybe just you and some friends, maybe part of your team, maybe all of your team. Who knows? Maybe your team will grow over time. That's up to you. But we wanted to help you think a little bit about what you could do to maybe take the seed that you planted during the Webfest weekend and help it to grow in the future. So that's at 4 p.m. CEST, and then at 5 p.m. CEST, we have the awards and closing ceremony. So please, don't miss that. Okay, now over to you again, Christina.
Thank you, Andrew. So now we're gonna follow the videos of two of the Webfest co-founders, Ben Siegel. I'm sorry, Andrew. I think okay. Ben Siegel, an honorary Cern staff member and a member of the Internet Hall of Fame. So let's go ahead and post the video.
Hello, I'm Ben Siegel, and I'm a co-founder of the Cern Web Fest, which is run every year since 2012. So it's our 10th edition. I'll be on the jury this year. The Webfest was Cern's very first hackathon. It used to be just for the Cern summer students. And some of them said later it was their best experience of the whole summer. It was very informal. People just turned up on Friday evening, made their pitches, formed into teams, and hacked non-stop until the Sunday afternoon. It happened in and around Cern's main restaurant. But COVID-19 changed all that. So last year we had our first online-only virtual edition. It was a great learning experience, especially for the organizers, and we decided to have participants from all over the world. As it was a big success, we've decided to do the same this year, have an online edition. But please remember, from the first edition to today, our main aim has been to have fun. So good luck to everyone and hack hard.
Mm-hmm.
So many thanks to Ben for such a nice video, such a nice inspirational video. He and Francois are both still helping with the Webfest after almost 10 years. It's a great pleasure for us to have them in our team. Francois Gray is a professor at the University of Geneva, Citizen Cyber Lab coordinator, and director of the Geneva Tsenduya initiative. So let's please go ahead and watch his video.
Hi, I'm Francois Gray, and I'm delighted to be part of the jury for the 2021 Cern Web Fest. I'm here at the University of Geneva's SDG Solution Space, right in the heart of international Geneva, just across the street from the World Trade Organization, the World Health Organization, and so many other UN agencies. And what all these organizations have in common these days is they're all working hard towards the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. These SDGs were launched by the United Nations back in 2015 with the aim of achieving a more sustainable planet by 2030. So I was thrilled to learn that the Cern Webfest team had chosen the SDGs and the theme of science, society, and sustainability for this year's Webfest. Because for sure, we're going to need as many innovations as possible, as many new ideas as we can find to tackle the SDGs over the coming few years. We've just been through a major health crisis. In fact, we're not out of the woods with COVID, and we're looking ahead to a giant climate crisis. And it's going to require as much ingenuity as possible for us as a species to survive on this planet. What's this got to do with a weekend hackathon? Well, quite a lot, actually, because, you know, new ideas don't just come out of nowhere. They have to be created. And actually, I've seen over the years, I've been involved in hackathons for over a decade. I was around when the first Cern Web Fest was put together. What I've seen is that these kind of events, modest though they are in scale, often generate incredible sparks of innovation because they bring together people who look at the world in different ways, who come with different skills, and who look at new problems that they're not dealing in their daily life with fresh eyes. And so occasionally, this can really lead to something radically different, radically novel, potentially very impactful. Now, hey, if you come to the Cern Web Fest and you go away without having changed the planet radically, don't worry, that's also okay. Part of the fun of the Web Fest, and it really is a fun event, is to try out new things, to learn new things from the people around you, and have a learning experience that really maybe changes the way you think about the world. And so that experience in itself is worth it too. So whatever the outcome, I really encourage you to join the Cern Web Fest with an open mind and a passionate heart, and think about how you could make a difference on this planet.
So many thanks to Francois for such a wonderful message. I feel inspired myself. So please go ahead, Andrew. I will hand over to you now.
Thanks, Christina. So as you've all heard, both Ben and Francois and Alberto before them mentioned SDGs, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So each year our hackathon has a theme. Last year was the first time our hackathon moved online and became this global event. And then thinking about COVID and how that was changing the ways in which we work together, we were looking really at different ways in which we could facilitate, collaboration, but while we're not together physically in the same space. And this year, developing further on top of that, we decided to make our theme Science, Society and Sustainability. And we want to focus particularly on certain UN Sustainable Development Goals. So there are 5 here, which are sort of the de facto goals supported by Cern. They're the first 5 listed here. And then we've added another one in here on climate action, because we think there's a real powerful opportunity for events such as our own to demonstrate the way in which people can collaborate and come together and innovate without necessarily being in the same physical space, thus saving large amounts of CO2 emissions when we can do things online rather than flying across the planet. So I'm not going to go through these in detail. Instead, we have a special guest speaker who's going to tell us a little bit more about these. I'd like to hand over to Christina, who's going to introduce her.
So now we're going to introduce our keynote speaker, Arsana Sharma, has kindly agreed to share all her knowledge about the SDGs. She's highly involved in the Sustainable Development Goals. And she's also a senior scientist and senior advisor for relations with international organizations. Please, Arsana, we look forward to listen to you.
Thank you very much, Christina, Andrew, and the whole team for putting this together. It's an amazing opportunity for all the people out there to engage and to really make a difference, as Francois said before me. So if you permit, can I share my screen, Christina?
Absolutely. Please, Arsana. Perfect. It works. It works properly.
Is it visible?
Yes. It works. It's displayed properly.
Thank you. So yes, indeed. So let me start by a message with which is coming from our Director General Fabiola Gianotti, who says that too often people put science and the arts in different silos. And the pandemic actually completely threw us back. It came as a bolt from the blue, and there have been such an opening of creativity and ideas that what she says is very, very important, which means that we have now to be more curious and more creative so that we will be able to make a difference. And indeed, that's why we have all come here together, because at Cern, that's what we do. We not only are curious and we look for secrets of the universe, but we are accelerating science. And that's what one of the main goals of what we do at Cern, which is really looking at research, the scientific research, which really takes us forward in terms of knowledge, what we know about the secrets of the universe, how, from where did we come, and all that is obviously done through a lot of technology that you have probably already read about and heard about from preparing for this Webfest. So in principle, apart from the scientific research that we do, there are essentially 3 other pillars that underpin the mission of Cern. And they are collaboration. That's clear, because it's unbelievable that WWW that emanated from Cern is the reason why we are able to somehow lead a semi-normal life in these times of the pandemic. All that is really feasible because the whole world has shrunk trillions of dollars of economy, it passes through the internet, through the www, and all education and training that immediately collapsed to online models over the last year was possible because of these kind of technology transfers that happened for free from CERN. And that brings us all together in terms of, making a difference with the technology and innovation that we have not only at CERN, but in science and technology in general. Because in the end, things are very related to each other: the arts, the science, the technology, the engineering, and of course, your innovation and creativity that you bring. And in terms of tackling major problems that face us all, we have one planet and we are all together in it. Now we absolutely want to understand how can we contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals that have been set up by the United Nations. There are 17 of them, of course, but like Andrew mentioned, we are not going to do everything together in the same time. So we need to pick and choose of what we want to do and what are the bridges that we can take and build from CERN technologies to the society. And a lot has been written about it, and I would invite you to take a look on the website of CERN. There is a website called KT, Knowledge Transfer, .cern, and you will find a lot of information. So yes, the Sustainable Development Agenda for 2030 has been adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015. It shares a blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet, of course, now and into the future. It means climate change, it means environment, it means healthcare, it means equality, etc., etc. So, these 17 development goals, Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs as they are called, this is really an urgent call for action, simply because many things are falling apart, and it is imperative for governments, policymakers, educationists, senior management around the world to focus on blending these goals into the policies for our own organizational, national, and obviously global development. And it's a question for everyone. It's an argument for everyone. And all hackers like you all are going to engage and certainly contribute in this unique opportunity that we have at the Webfest. CERN, of course, is in a unique position with the science, innovation, technology, as we mentioned earlier. So we want to create and lead with ideas, and you can really contribute there with all the ideas that you will bring just in these 48 hours. You have no clue, I have no clue where this can end and where, a small idea can start here and what a big difference it can make. So yes, let's take a very quick look at what we could imagine building these bridges means. Let's take the SDG 3, that is good health and well-being. So obviously, I think many of you are aware of all the medical and biomedical applications that have emanated from CERN. And of course, they have been put to very good use for healthcare, diagnostics, and treatment, in fact. I'll come to that later, but just a quick overview that we are very much in touch with international organizations simply because they are there focused addressing a problem, an issue, health or telecommunications or intellectual property, UN AIDS, training and education, atomic energy, and so on. So yes, we are very much engaged, and you will help us to take this engagement further. And this picture shows you really a circle of activities that we do. I will not go through every detail, obviously, but just to say that being a particle physicist is a privilege because we gather a lot of multidisciplinarity, and there we gather a lot of information starting from sensors, technology, softwares, physics, obviously, and then data analysis, data mining, machine learning, and if I can, pull in all the keywords there, artificial intelligence, etc. So these are the skills that will be needed to solve and to address the Sustainable Development Goals, which one generation ago does not have. So you are the generation that will be taking these skills forward and applying them in the various fields which then address the sustained development goals. So I won't go too much into detail. You can find my slides eventually uploaded somewhere on the Webfest, but you know the amount of applications that we have from our technologies at CERN in every sphere of life that you can imagine. All right. So, well, this is a hackathon result, by the way. A Higgs boson scientist creates a fertility app, just taking the body temperature. So just Google it up and you'll have some fun learning about this app. All right. So this is, of course, a must show for low dose X-rays, 3-dimensional and in color. So that's the dream of a doctor, obviously. And now let me move from the health to quality education. So part of the, let's say, mandate of CERN is to inspire and make science, physics, STEM aspirational. And for that, there are a diverse range of programs at CERN for students, teachers, and young researchers. Please feel free to look into those opportunities. Here are just some of the offshoots of how our technologies are used. What happened? Sorry. Yes. So that's how our technologies are used. And of course, this is for education, for genetics, for microbiology, for engineering, for forecasting the weather, which is unbelievable because of the amount of data that is needed to be treated before you are able to accurately forecast the weather. So yes, that is done. And teaching those skills is very important. And here is a picture from one of our teachers program where teachers and students get together and then they obviously play around. This is a picture which is showing you the satellite imagery of the region in Nepal and India, where this analysis then helps to create an evidence-based decision-making towards humanitarian actions. And the UNOSAT program, which is a partnership between CERN and UNITAR, which is the training agency of the United Nations, has recently been recognized as the United Nations Satellite Center, which is an amazing achievement. This is all in data management, data governance, and data analysis has been put to the maximum test, because you can imagine imagery data is huge. We obviously at CERN produce a lot of data, but it's excellent that we practice and we are able to put that to real life challenges as well. So back to our SDGs. This can happen only when we connect, and we connect also to industries, to innovation. We create infrastructure so that we are able to drive the innovation in the industry together with what we do at CERN. And many, many examples are there. I will not be repeating myself. Obviously, since we are working together, we come from all over the world. We are diverse people. Sometimes we are coming from countries that are not politically very well connected. That all those walls, they just disappear at CERN because we work towards common goals. And CERN is really an accountable and a completely transparent institution. So everyone gets together and everyone works together. Here is a picture from my own laboratory where you literally see 15 people coming from 15 different corners of the world. And, India, Pakistan, China, everywhere people are just coming together and happily working as well. In the very, very left corner, you might see a lady over there and you can keep guessing who she is. There is a picture which shows you a meeting that happened at Sesame, that is the International Research Center in the Middle East. And CERN really played the Alibaba stories that and that leads you to hidden treasures and riches. And that really happens because of the diplomacy, the scientific diplomacy that is deployed by the experience from the CERN collaboration model. And that is also a big part of the SDG goals number 17, which is partnership and collaboration. So yes, CERN has become a model for global cooperation. And indeed, at CERN, we just mentioned earlier that everyone comes together regardless from where they come from. So yes, we have a lot of activities going on at CERN. So are you connected with all those activities? I guess not everyone is connected to everything, but please do Google up, please create your own bridges and find your lighthouse that can show the light and lead the way through the science, technology, engineering, innovation, industry, and education that we do at CERN via the various steps that you can take and address the sustainable development goals. You know, every person is important and can contribute and participate. So yes, you are here at the Webfest for a reason. And I'm very, very happy to encourage you to make this difference by sharing your ideas on. And I know that there are wonderful ideas, wonderful projects, and wonderful teams that are raring to go. So yes, be mad, which means make a difference. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Arsana. This has been definitely a very interesting talk with lots and lots of interesting information. I believe that will be very much useful to our participants and will really help them during their challenges over the weekend. I'm going to hand over to Andrew again. Okay, the slides are...
Right, so I've just started sharing my slides again. I'm just giving it a little moment so that everyone can see them. So yes, now on to the main sort of topic of today's meeting, which is to give everyone an opportunity to discuss the various project ideas that have been submitted over the last few days and weeks. So as I mentioned earlier, we're really pleased. We have 29 project ideas, all look very interesting indeed. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go through them. And where possible, we've invited the people who submitted those project proposals to join us in this Zoom chat, and they will give a quick 1-minute introduction to the video, to the project via the video when called. But where that's not possible, Christina or I will give a short summary of the project. The main thing to remember here is that full information can be found on your website, or on our website, on the webfest.cern website. So this really is just a sort of taster session. And then if you hear something that sort of whets your appetite, we encourage you to go over to the website, read through in detail, find out more about the project. And then there'll be further discussion that can take place around the project during the networking session and using the chat channels, which are going to be introduced to you later. So what we've done is we've divided the project into some rough topics. This is not the topics under which they were necessarily submitted, but we've just sort of grouped them thematically so that we're not jumping around completely with different things. So first of all, I'm going to take us through some of the project ideas that were submitted and that relate to education in some way or another. So this first one here, I was wondering if we have anyone from the list here who might be able to join us on the Zoom and give a short presentation of particlesmatter.io.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you. It's Evas here.
Hi, Evas. Would you like to talk us through the project, please?
Yeah, of course. Okay, right. So our project, particlesmatter.io, it's more interesting when it doesn't make sense. So nowadays, most people find physics boring, and there are several reasons for this. They have all the reasons have something in common. They're all related to how physics is presented. If you try to learn a subject with just learning equations and theoretical content, it will surely not be that exciting. But because we humans love challenges, we like to achieve something in a small amount of time, and this is when we learn most. So our main idea is to present particle physics in a way that attracts people. How? By building a platform where people of all ages and different backgrounds can learn about particles by facing challenges with different experimental and interesting games. As observation affects reality and physical laws don't control how particles behave, our users are the ones who decide the rules and observe what happens in some games. In addition, we will share the source code for the games developed on our platform, so people will get to learn particle physics and programming at the same time. Besides game, we are also planning to share interactive infographics and blogs about particle physics. So during the weekend, we will build a prototype of our platform, first game and first blog about particles. Basically, our platform will show people that particle physics really matters and we should learn it. Thank you, that's all.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed, Evaz. And of course, everyone can get in touch with Evaz or any of his colleagues listed here if they'd like more information about this project. So on to the next one, which is called Cynthia. Do we perhaps have Diego or another member of the team who would like to present this one?
Sure, Andrew. Hey, thanks.
Fantastic.
Thanks, everyone. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Thanks for joining us, Diego.
So, no, thank you for the room. So, I have a question for everyone, actually. Have you ever thought how many books have you read in your life? So if you're lucky in a lifetime, let's say, you could really only read a maximum of 5,000 books from more than 100 million existing books, right? So no person can absorb all the knowledge out there. But what if we could automatically summarize any text we want in a matter of seconds? Or what's more, what if we could simplify text to absorb it faster, right? All of a sudden, you would access pretty much everything. Think about the impact this could have on education. So during this weekend, we want to design a system to accelerate knowledge by using AI technologies. Our goal is to support the UN SDG of education, and this is why the project Cynthia was born, to change the learning process. We are looking for people who want to be part of a revolution in learning. So if we want to create a real impact in the world and change education, please come in and join us in the Cynthia project.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, Diego. It sounds very exciting. And now on to another education project. We have quite a few education themed projects. It's a very popular, sort of challenge area. And this one's called Making Physics Experiments More Interesting. And it was submitted by Lutfara Manupama. Lutfara, are you on the line? I guess not. So then let me give you a little overview. So the aim of this particular project is to try to make students, particularly high school students or those doing undergraduate degrees, more interested in phenomena-based experiments. So the idea is to change the curriculum a little bit so that it provides simple and easy experiments while stating and explaining new concepts. So the idea is to have a student-centered curriculum, which is what you would be making this weekend, where the understanding of the laws of physics would be given the very highest level of importance. The project's also aiming to reduce difficulties in learning experiments while making them as fruitful as possible for the students. So Lutfara might not be available now because of time zone differences, or I know already that several people who've submitted project ideas aren't able to take part. But if this is something that sounds interesting to you, you should by all means feel free to select this as the project you'd like to work on and run with it, whether or not any of the original submitters are indeed able to take part this weekend. Now on to another project. This is called Detour X DN1G. I believe that Ashraful is not available to join us and give an overview. I'm going to pause for a moment, and if Ashraful is there, he's very welcome to interject. However, I believe he's not, so I'm going to go straight into the description. So here you have to imagine a website or app that is a guide towards various internet-based remote education resources. So the Detour X is about listing and showcasing all the different free and useful educational resources available for the public, because we know there are a lot out there. It's not always easy to find them and access them in an easy manner. So the basic premise of this project is that the team and the community will help students to look for resources and create manuals about how to assess them. So this was a project that was first developed at last year's Webfest, and I'm sure that Ashraful and his colleagues will be very keen for you to join their team and work on it with them together. So please do take a look at this one too. And now on to the next project, which is Basic Skills Ads in Students About Science. Do we have Afzal or any of their colleagues on the line?
I suppose not.
I guess not. Okay, so again, let me give a brief overview. So this is about adding and growing skills in students. So it's about increasing interest and producing young scientists. So it's focused on activity-based learning, and modeling projects around science and technology to help us achieve goals. So this is an education-based project. I've not provided the greatest summary there. I'm aware of that. But, you know, as with all of the projects, do go to our website. You simply click on the button Project Ideas, and you can see and navigate all of the different projects yourself. So I encourage you to take a look at this and all of the others, of course. And now for this next project, do we have Jana on the line?
Hello, I'm here on behalf of the team.
Hi, thanks for joining us. Would you like to give a brief overview of your project, please?
Yeah, hello everyone. So our idea revolves around the idea of DIY radiation detectors. We aim to increase opportunities for hands-on learning experiences within the area of nuclear and particle physics. Our main objective is to develop a low-cost, easily available, and more interactive radiation detector. We hope to achieve this by using silicon diodes for the detector, which are a great low-cost alternative to the traditional existing radiation detectors. Our innovation lies in using an ESP32 board, which is capable of transmitting data via Wi-Fi to our web app, which will be the designated analysis platform. The data will be stored on the web app so multiple people can utilize them and collaborate in their analysis when plotting, fitting, and analyzing the recorded data. Our web app will be easily adaptable, therefore it will be able to adapt in the future for the use of different types of detectors as well. To complement and support our project, we will be developing handy tutorials and detailed documentation for building the detector and using our web app, along with examples of cool physics experiments that students can perform. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. That was a very nice summary. So moving on to our next project here, I have two contacts listed. Are either Sarang or Daniel available to give an overview of their quantum learning app proposal? I guess not. So in that case, let me provide an overview with the caveat that, again, you should go and take a look for more information on the website. But this quantum learning app is to be a gaming application for all ages and backgrounds. Basically, it's for all of those who are curious to learn more about the emerging technological field of quantum computing, and that's a hot topic here at CERN. So that sounds very interesting indeed, and we encourage you to take a look at this project too. And then this is another project which, again, you can see in the original categories, this was submitted under communicating science, but of course, the lines between science communication and science education are somewhat blurred. So for now, just for the sake of this, initial overview, I've put this in with the other educational ones. Do we have Gianluigi or any of his colleagues?
Yes, there's me, Elisabetta Parozzi. I'll be presenting on behalf of my team. Can I share briefly something?
By all means.
Thanks.
Let me just stop sharing.
Thank you very much. And okay, so as the name says, we are the Crash Bandicoot team, and I wanted to show you what we have so far because we are presenting a platform, an open source platform that wants to develop a 3D video game that references to one of the most beloved video games from our childhood, which is Crash Bandicoot, and bending magnets in the name. So we want to approach people and students to accelerator physics and basic concepts about particle physics. So what we want to do with this project is we want to develop an open source platform that helps people and students to get closer to topics like particle physics and accelerator physics, but in a very easy and fun way. No matter what background, financial background or locations people are, without the necessity to reach places like CERN, so avoiding expensive travels and allowing everyone to join this and have fun with the physics and accelerator physics. So we are developing both the Unity part, so development of the game, and the Blender animation side, which are both open source softwares that everyone can reach and use freely. And we're gonna help people to learn more about these softwares and expand our video game idea.
Thanks very much, Elisabetta.
Thank you.
You've already stopped sharing. Perfect. Then let me just begin sharing again. Just bear with me one very short moment. Here we go. So the next project to discuss now is called Taking Mega Science Projects to the Grassroots. Here, I'm afraid, and this was an issue on our side rather than on behalf of the submitters, but I wasn't able to locate a contact person. So if there is anyone who's joined us in the Zoom room who submitted or was involved in submitting this project, by all means speak up, but otherwise I'm going to assume that I ought to give the overview for this. So this project, as I mentioned, is called Taking Mega Science Projects to the Grassroots. And the project team is creating a one-of-its-kind free STEM learning platform, which is called Life Lab STEM Gurukul. STEM Gurukul aims to provide equal access to affordable STEM education and to eliminate gender and wealth disparities across the world. It's an endeavour to achieve universal access to quality education, which would ultimately lead to the formation of a peaceful society. So as you can see with this project and with several of the others already, you're starting to see now, as we're going through more and more of the project proposals, some kinds of crossover areas. So when you're all discussing later, whether it's via the networking or whether it's via the chat, perhaps new synergies emerge between project teams. Perhaps some of you like to merge, to work together. Perhaps new offshoots can arise. This is really the point of this Webfest, to see to work together and see what comes out of it and to learn from one another. And now we have another project also under education called Equal Education Opportunities for All. And do we have Sabiha Ismail on the line?
Yes, sir, I'm live.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
Hi, sir.
Could you please give a brief overview of your project?
Sir, my project is basically on the quality education for all the students. I want that every student should have equal educational opportunities. My project is basically emphasizes on the girls' education. That is, like in my country, in Pakistan, there is less opportunities for girls than boys. Girls don't go to school as far as boys in the far behind areas of our countries, not all the areas. I want that every student should have equal opportunities, that they can share their ideas to that development of their country. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. That's great. So that's the last of our projects we sort of grouped under education here. Now, as I mentioned, these groupings are purely for our sort of thematic benefits now to help us all think about the different areas. So I'm now going to hand over to my colleague Christina, who's going to talk us through a number of science communication projects.
Oh, hello again. The first one is called Particle Silo. So is Uzi Perez here with us?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Could I share my screen?
Hello, Uzi. Would you like to share some information and bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So let me just share my screen. Could you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay, now do you see my screen?
Okay, yes, perfect.
Okay, so this is Particle Silo. So it's meant to be a community-driven science communication platform that mainly serves to organize and curate magnificent content from the web. So just to tell you a story, I was once a bored young graduate student, or probably still the same, who wasn't sure why I was doing certain plots, and I had felt that I was in a rut. So my mind had always wandered. And so you know what fatigued minds do? Scroll Instagram. And so I did, and I saw an Atlas SciComm content right here, which was kind of related to what I was doing. And it inspired me, and it made my mind light up, or my brain light up. So, but when I was preparing for a presentation, I had lost this link, and I thought, oh, if I just had this link, I would have saved some time. So I thought maybe we could create a solution to organizing cool but scattered content from the web, and therefore save time and perhaps share it with other people who are interested. So we figured that Particle Silo would be an agile or flexible, personalizable content aggregator that allows you to organize the cool stuff you find online and also feel inspired by what other people had found inspiring too. So for anyone who has a similar goal of connecting scientists, communicators, and even artists who have web development skills, we want you this weekend. As what Fabiola Gianotti said, art and science shouldn't really be siloed from one another. Yeah, so that's my pitch. Okay, so
Thank you so much. This was such a nice presentation, and I hope that lots of our participants got interested in your idea and will join. So let's now continue to the very next one, which is called, it's actually, I think, yes, it's the give me 3 layers and I'll describe the word.
Yeah.
Apologies. So
I recognize it.
This is this is the idea of Anna Ferrari. This is one of our team members. Please, Anna, go ahead. I look forward to hear your presentation.
Thanks. I don't have any presentation slides, but I will resume what I want to propose, what I want to achieve with this project in this weekend. And in particular, we spoke about innovation, and we spoke about different kind to tackle some new challenges that we are facing this time. And the world is becoming more and more complex. And I think, and as we see in our everyday life, that trying to visualize and to understand the world by using some visualization is one of the right way to go. It's one of the way that's easy our understanding of the world. And so here I really left a lot of freedom to you to try to display, try to do some visualizations based on 3 or more layers, so 3 or more aspects that can describe the world. And I really looking forward to seeing your creativity, what you can, how you can mix different aspects, different SDGs, and how you can display, how you can also transfer the idea through the visualization, through these visualization techniques. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Anna. This is such an interesting project, and I really look forward to see how it evolves over the Webfest weekend. So let's now proceed to the next one, which is the connecting researchers with communication professionals. Andrew, Malcolm, are you here to pitch your idea?
Here. Yes, I'm here. Thank you for inviting me to present this. It's a pretty simple idea. It mostly responds to the fact that there's constant pressure for researchers to communicate their science. And there's lots of research into how they can do this better and what kinds of workshops to provide, but little information about how researchers can rely on either freelance professionals or communications administrators from their universities. So this is a project I've been working on for a long time, just in my own world, but I kind of think it would be a really good thing for perhaps even someone else to take on to host. Basically, the idea would be to have a discussion forum that would serve 2 purposes. One, to accumulate information about how to price projects, what kinds of research communication projects there are, and other factors like what kind of, for all the different funding institutions, which ones allow for expenditures on research communications. And it's because this information I find is very vague and a lot of people aren't very aware of it. The other one would be just to connect people. So to connect researchers with freelancers who often are actually researchers themselves. I'm finding more and more researchers out there want to provide services to other researchers. And there would be a really good reason to have a discussion forum where these kinds of connections could form. So that's basically the idea.
Thank you so much for presenting your idea. I really hope that it will flourish over the weekend. And yes, let's go ahead to the next topic. I'm gonna hand over to Andrew again. Let's present the next topics about the health and humanitarians.
Thanks very much for those interesting overviews. I'm now going to go through a few projects which we've sort of grouped thematically into health and humanitarianism. So to start, we have here a project called Lotus, AI Rescue for Human Trafficking. Do we have Elena or any of her colleagues on the line? Okay, I don't think we do. So let me give a brief overview here. So this is a project where AI could be used to search for victims of human trafficking. And the idea is that it would utilize psychoanalysis and human movements to do this, as well as cybersecurity and image recognition for specific identification. So it's to help, tackle, one of the most horrific problems faced in the world today, which is human trafficking, and to try and, send the location of victims to authorities to try and, reduce and tackle this, at least to some degree, and really, save lives. The next project was submitted by our colleague here at Cern, Biodynamo. I don't believe that she is on the line, so I'm going to proceed with the description. But if Maria, you or anyone else who's involved in the project is on the line, you're welcome to jump in and give the overview yourselves, of course. So this again tackles a very important problem, which is around domestic violence. So it's called a discrete tool that saves lives for good reason. And what Maria's explained is that, particularly during the COVID-19 crisis, this has led to unprecedented rises in things like domestic violence and traumatic experiences for children, loneliness and depression. And that often people are too scared and they don't have the strength to reach, for the phone and call for help. So the idea would be that through this project, you would work to create or investigate, how you could use networking technologies to, help people perhaps call for police, ambulance, or other services, but using some kind of discrete button or caller. It might look like some jewelry, or it could be, hidden in some other way. Something that a person always wears, and it doesn't necessarily, raise the suspicions of the violent partner. Okay, so now on to another project, which is called VizDeck, Your Health at Your Fingertips. And our contact for this is Gokul. I think you're on the line, right, Gokul?
Yeah, so we have a video made for this. Can we share and share it to you guys?
By all means, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so that you can share yours.
All right, Gokul, can you show it?
Please, go ahead.
Good day everyone present over here. Today for this pitch session, me and my colleagues will talk about our innovative idea VizDeck. VizDeck is an app that will use convolutional neural network to properly analyze all the nutrient deficiencies and suggest the necessary diet to improve the user's nutrient intake. For this to happen, VizDeck first asks the user to give the pictures of his or her nails, tongue, face, eyes and lips, which will be analyzed by our convolutional neural network to extract the necessary features to optimally find the nutrient deficiencies of the user. This is done by optimally training our convolutional neural network with appropriate datasets to find the necessary nutrient deficiencies. Finally, based on the results, appropriate diet will be suggested by our app to ensure the users can get the necessary optimal nutrient intake. To make our idea come to fruition, we would like to ask anyone who has skills related to machine learning, Python or Anaconda coding, MATLAB coding, Android Studio, Big Data Classifier and Feature Extractor, or proficiency in ANN or CNN to join our project to help people around the world in tackling the problem of nutrient deficiencies. Thank you for listening to our pitch. I hope you join us in the journey of getting our idea come to fruition.
Thanks very much indeed for that nice presentation. I'm just going to go back to sharing my screen again and move forwards there to the next of the projects, which is crowdsourced designs, 3D printed enhancements for disabled people. Noor, do we have you on the line?
Hello, hi. Yeah. Can I present my screen?
Please, by all means.
Okay.
I've stopped sharing so that you should now be able to.
Okay. So, my name is Noor. I'm working with my partner Mehdi, and our idea is to connect the natural world with the...
No, apologies to interrupt you, but if you go to present mode, we'll be able to see the slides a little bit larger.
Is it better now?
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. So we are trying to bridge the normal everyday objects that are designed for normal human body to be used easily by the disabled people. So according to statistics, there are 1 million people who are disabled in the world, and that is 15% of the population. So our idea is to build a portal for empowering these people that can easily access everyday objects. So as you can see the picture, a normal hand with 5 fingers can usually use a scissor. But what do you do about this? This is a condition called ectrodactyly, and I wasn't able to find the statistics of how many people have it. But you see, this scissor is definitely not usable by this person. So what do we do? Our idea is not to grow fingers by some magic or build a prosthetic arm or redesign the scissor entirely. We do not want that. We want to build the missing piece, which is in between. So how are we going to do that? Our portal will have 4 actors. One is people with disability, 3D designers and modelers, and 3D printing services. So people with disability can come in our portal and just upload their pictures of their unique condition, and will create 3D models of that condition and also of the object that they want to use. For example, here scissor. And the people who are 3D designers in our portal will try to design the missing piece that can attach to this everyday object, and then send it back to them, and the person can get it 3D printed and maybe attach it to the scissor and use it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Noor. That sounds very interesting indeed.
So we're looking for designers, product designers. So if anybody is up to it, please, you can contact us.
Right. Thank you. As for this and for all of the other projects, we encourage you, as I mentioned earlier, to go take a look on the Webfest website, and you'll be able to find out plenty more information there. Okay, so I'm just going to restart the screen share on my end. It's just coming now. So the next project here is called Just X. We have Ahmad or Khalil on the line to give us a brief overview of this project. I don't think we do. Okay, so this is a project that was submitted under the category, related to the SDG, around peace, justice, and strong institutions. So what Ahmad and Khalil have written is that they want to develop a platform that helps to increase awareness of the plights of the oppressed, but they want on top of that to empower and inform people. And they want to do this by using tools to help create the level playing field that is much needed. They've talked about, the role that social media apps have played, in recent global social movements, but they want to take this a step further and, fill the still existing gap with their app, which they call Just X, which is an app with the goal of educating the global community. So they believe that when knowledge is put into the hands of people, power is taken out of the hands of those who are oppressing them. So this is, a very worthy project indeed, and we encourage you to take a look at it and get in touch with Ahmad and Khalil about it too. So I'm going to hand back over to Christina, who's going to talk to you about a number of projects related to the environment.
Thank you so much, Andrew. So the first project regarding the environment is called How Green is Nuclear Research Energy, and the Busting Myths. So do we have Garhi Satish with us?
Yeah, hi, am I visible?
Hello, Garhi. Thank you for joining us. Would you like to talk us through a little bit your project?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. So, as a part of the project idea, the main objective is communicating and discussing science, by which I mean application of nuclear technologies in energy. For a long time now, as we know, it has been a subject of interest in the backdrop of whether nuclear energy is green or not. So keeping this into account, our project is going to be much of busting myths, collecting facts and figures, graphically representing and making our best attempt to analyze the results and interpret them, and hopefully curate them into a YouTube video. So in today's day and age, it is of utmost importance to go by the proven empirical facts and to believe in the associated technology for the better, and also make our best attempt to rid the world of all the conundrums and the apprehensions that people have lived with for so long surrounding nuclear technology. And all of this can pay off if only our generation of scientific youth take the first step and spread the word. So the main objective is to get a holistic approach from all the participants of our team and be able to energize the efforts towards scaling up nuclear energy solutions probably in the near future. So all the students who have the passion and interest towards scaling up nuclear technology in the future, please do come and join, and we could have exciting discussions on how we can help scale up nuclear technology, and we'll have some interesting quizzes and data analyzation and visualization as well. Thank you, and I hope you'll join the team.
Thank you so much, Garchi, for such a nice presentation. And yes, I do hope that lots of the participants get interested in your idea. So let's proceed to the next one, which is the wildfire emergency response: prevent, protect, and enforce. Maybe we should
yes, Christina.
Okay, perfect. So hello, Damla. Thank you for joining us. Please go ahead and pitch us over your idea.
Yeah, sure. Our project is mainly proposal solutions to wildfire problems the world is facing a lot recently. It helps decrease the spread of the fires, lower the response time, shorten the building and infrastructure damages, and most importantly, prevent animal and human death as much as possible that are caused by wildfires. We have three main.
Pitch us over your idea.
Yeah, sure. Our project is mainly proposal solutions to wildfire problems the world is facing. We have three main ideologies: decrease, prevent, protect, and enforce. Preventing part is to prevent fires, spread speed, and to take control of the fire before it threatens the environment. Protecting part is to guarantee the safety of humans and animals. Enforcing part is a live action that take part in the extinguishing process. The objectives are collecting and processing the related data and prototyping of the app in terms of functionality and design. And this is briefly what our project is mainly about.
Thank you so much, Damla. Such an interesting project. I mean, it is a big need. I experienced the fires lately in Greece, you as well from Turkey. So yes, I believe it's necessary to dig a little bit into that for sure. And now let's move into our final project related to the environment category. We need to change the slide.
Christina, apologies to interrupt. I believe we've missed a project which is called Think for Climate.
Okay. We did so? Okay. Apologies. Apologies. All right, let's get back then to the project Think for Climate. The time has come to act now. Is Rosie or Nisha Banerjee with us?
Yes, Nisha Banerjee is here. I'm teaching for the idea Think for Climate. The time has come to act now. As we all know that global warming and climate change are deeply connected. One is cause and another one is effect. This cause is drastically aggravating the effect. As the time has come to act, our Think for Climate project will focus on building a helpful, informative website and prototype of app where we will suggest the actions that can be taken to achieve United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. On weekends, we will work in a few segments in an integrated way. As we will make information sections to inform visitors about the different terminologies, data visualization using machine learning models to predict the future climate change impacts, and provide a platform to allow users to submit their online shipping orders through a web interface to reduce the carbon footprint of online delivery of products. In our shared idea, you can see the skills being short section.
Those are the skills we are using and looking for. So if you think you have a good grasp on machine learning or web technology and our idea and pitch interests you, then what are you waiting for? Join our team now. Thank you.
Great, Nisa. Thank you so much. That's an interesting idea. I hope that you get contacted, the participants, ASAP. And let's proceed to the final project related to the environmental category, which is called Weather Pattern and Visualization. Do we have the contact with us? Abhinav Kumar, are you here, or anyone else from this team? Okay, perhaps not. So I will proceed now to give a short description. So again, here we're so yes, okay. Again, here we have to do with the global warming. The main idea is to prevent the wildfires. They would also like to slow the spread of fires, reduce the reaction times, reduce building and the infrastructure damage, and well, most importantly, prevent animal and human deaths. As a result, they would suggest an app that can serve as a solution to the problem. This app will provide information about the various climate changes, like wildfires, in order for the people to learn about it, to be informed. The app will also include protective measures and contact information in order for the people to get help as soon as possible. So I believe, okay, yes, we have to proceed now to the next category. I pass over again to Andrew.
Thanks, Christina. So we're now on to the theme facilitating research, and here we've grouped together a number of projects that are both about facilitating research and about how one facilitates research. So there's some research, so there's some projects that are actual, sort of parts of research here, and some which are about how we can make research easier. You'll understand when we go through the project proposals here. There are just a few in this category. So first of all, I'd like to invite Anna back to the virtual floor to give an overview of this project, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. As you said, it's facilitating research because here I'm asking you to improve what the technologies around wearable sensors are. So, of course, the research community is working a lot and since a lot of years about how to use wearable devices such as the smartphone and smartwatch to prevent, for example, disease, to improve lifestyle, to improve healthy life. So even though a lot of research have been made, we still need some further innovation, and preventing some disease from remote, or preventing some disease that cannot be detected in time, or they are detected too late, is one of the purpose of this project. In this case, I focus mostly in self-supervised learning because the data, the label data from wearable devices are still not has a lot of lack of amount. So one of the techniques that is used nowadays is this self-supervised learning. You're free to compare these techniques with other techniques, and you're free to select the sensor from a wearable that you prefer. And thank you.
No, thank you, Anna. We appreciate that overview. And now on to another project called Research Subjects. Again, I'm afraid we didn't have a contact person down for this, so I'm assuming there's no one on the line to give us an overview.
I am actually here.
Great. Then please, by all means, take the floor and tell us all about your project proposal.
Well, the way I came up with this was I had a friend that did her thesis in neuropsychology, and she did research, and it was really hard for her to find people to do the research project. She got like 11 people, and during her whole thesis, she was kind of doubting like the results because she got so few people. So my idea is how do we facilitate that and get well, basically subjects hooked up to research. So the project would be to make something where an app where researchers can make a project, and then subjects could sign up through the app as well, and then answer a whole bunch of questions about, I don't know, their life and their medical history or whatever it is. And then when the projects pop up, the subjects would get notified saying, hey, there's a research project. Are you interested? This is possibly an incentive to be part of it. And hopefully research projects could get big groups of people to.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
would you mind sharing your name with the group just so that people know who to look out for during the networking sessions and in the chat if they'd like to find out more about this this nice project that you've presented?
Sure. I just got to find the chat button, I guess.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll leave you to place that in the. Not everyone can see the chat, so if you just tell us orally your name, that would be very useful.
Laura on the Bakker.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
No problem.
So now we're on to a project called Flocking with Biodynamo. I don't believe there's a member of this team available today, so I'm going to start with the description. However, if there is a member of the team on the line, they're welcome to take over. So Biodynamo is something that all of us in the Cern Open Lab team, so Christina and I, plus several others, Anna and others on the line, know all about. So Biodynamo is a platform that's been created for agent-based modeling. It's been used to simulate things like cell growth and development, but also it's been adapted for use for other sort of agent-based modeling scenarios, including around modeling COVID infections. So this specific project here is about using Biodynamo in a very particular way, and that is to use it to model flocking systems using this agent-based approach. So the rules governing the individual are long known, and the so-called NOIDS model forms the basis of this project. So there are three main behaviors which are defined here, which are separation, alignment, and cohesion. And the idea is to create these working units, or boids as they're called, so this working boids model, and then there are lots of different applications that you could potentially do with this. So Biodynamo is a very sort of efficient way of doing agent-based modeling, and it's really worth looking into this as a potential project, which would give it a new application and will take the platform in yet another new and interesting direction. Now moving on to a project called Cymet. I'm not sure if we have Saransh on the line. Saransh, are you there? I guess not. So I'll oh no, you. Pardon, sorry. I'm afraid I cannot see the videos when I'm speaking because I'm sharing a full screen, so I can't see if anyone's waving at me. If you're here, you should speak up. But I think we're okay. I'm gonna head on with the description then. So Cymet is a video call platform which is going to be used to allow scientists and programmers to communicate more effectively. The platforms that we have today don't always provide easy ways to share code or scientific equations. They typically just allow us to write plain or simple text in chats, in that chat boxes, which can make collaboration hard sometimes. So Cymet brings a chats section where users can type in LaTeX or in Markdown so that they can convey their ideas more effectively. This will be beneficial for working professionals as well as for those at school or universities, and should help make online education and collaboration a bit easier too. Now on to a project proposal called Cern Talent Platform. Do we have Benjamin or any of his colleagues on the line?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, Benjamin. Great. Please take it away.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Ben. I arrived at Cern about a year ago, so in the middle of the pandemic, and as some of my colleagues, it was pretty hard to be at Cern at the moment. So I do believe that Cern people have the innovation in their DNAs, but how do you spark innovation? How do you co-create when you are in such a humane, counterintuitive period as we are now? How do we do that when you can't grow a network and you can't meet new people? The serendipity that we need to boost innovation is not there at the moment. So my idea is to create a platform that does that. We are 18,000 people working at Cern. So I want to link people up together. I want to give the visibility to their achievements and skills. And I want to match them to different opportunities to grow, such as projects or mentoring. So because it's a project on collaboration, I thought it would be good to create that collaboratively with other people. So I'm maybe the least IT skilled person here. So please join my only one-person team right now, which is me. I welcome anyone who wants to do some fun work. So thank you very much.
Great. Thanks very much for your proposal, Ben. And now on to another project, which I just wanted to check that we've not already covered this one. Anna, I know you're on the line, so maybe you can enlighten us. You submitted a third project, is that correct?
And no, this is the one I just presented.
Apologies, I have copied and pasted this twice into the stock. So instead, we're going to move on to a sort of final category, which we've just simply called Other. So we have a few more projects that didn't neatly fit into any of the aforementioned themes. So I'm going to hand over to Christina, who's going to talk you through these, starting with this first one submitted by Maria Dimu, who I know is not on the line today.
Thank you, Andrew. So this project proposal is called Solid Server User Interface Redesign. As Maria proposed, Solid is shared in Bernie's list project, and its goal is to give back to the users ownership of their data. They want to store where this data reside and control over who has access to them. It aims to free the users from internet silos that get and use personal data behind our backs. So users' personal data. Oh, okay. we lost the slides, but okay. Well, users' personal data live in Solid pods. Pod data are stored in Solid servers. The idea is to get their pod and make a list of missing UI functionality. In this way, all Cern profiles will be hosted in Solid, and a good fraction of the open source community will get to know the project. So let's thank Maria for her proposal. Even if she's not here today, I really hope that some of you are interested in this idea, and well, just go ahead and pick your ideas in our app. So this is all with the projects. I'm not sure. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I don't know, Andrew. Can you speak up? We don't have a connection either with your speaker. We can't hear you, Andrew. We can. Yes, we can.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Hello. It seems I had a short problem with my connection. Apologies for that, everyone. I stopped sharing the screen in an attempt to view the chat and see whether the problem was indeed on my end or perhaps with the microphone on Christina's end. But it turns out the problem was indeed on my side. So apologies for that, everyone. I am going to go back to the presentation and share. Christina, you will, however, have to let me know if I need to move on to the next slide already.
Yes, please do move on.
Thanks very much.
So the next project is called Johari, Track Your Career Performance Yourself. Is Neha Gupta here with us to take the floor?
Yeah, this is Mahesh. I'm on behalf of the team.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mahesh. Please go ahead and pitch your idea.
Yeah, so basically it's hard to discover the strength areas, the opportunities to improve both professionally and personally, especially while we are working in the virtual environment, right? So if you consider like getting the feedbacks from your previous employers and colleagues, it's hard to keep track of those feedbacks, and it's hard to see how you're progressing over the years, right? So Johari platform gives you that benefit, and it helps you in finding your emerging strengths, your top strengths, the areas where you require the attention and the opportunities you need to improve also. So it's basically free of cost and easy to use. The UI is very interactive, and it basically focuses on the a person's Johari windows, which gives their strengths, weaknesses, their threats, their opportunities, and it gives insight over the years that, like based on the feedbacks, how our employee is improving. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Mahesh. Such an interesting idea. Thank you, and let's wrap up with the ideas. This was the last one we had.
So that brings, our summary of the idea proposals to an end. As we've mentioned, that's the main point of tonight's session, or wherever you are in the world. For us, at least here locally in Geneva, it's evening. So that was the main point of today's session. So you could get a little taste of each of the project proposals. We encourage you to go and take a look on the webfest.cern website, where you can find out more information about them. But we're also going to have a networking session where you can discuss with your fellow teammates or potential new fellow teammates and settle around certain projects that you'd like to work on together. So Christina and I would now like to hand over to our colleague Carolus, who's going to talk you through a little bit how technically you will go about making your selections for your project teams once you've had a little bit more time to have a think about things. Can we hand over to you now, Carolus, please?
Yes, thank you, Andrew. So good evening, everyone, or good day, good night, whenever you are in the world. So I'm Carlos, I'm part of the Webfest team. I'm a particle physicist at CERN, also working with GlueOnNet. I mean, many things, very involved in hackathons. And this year, I'm behind the technical support and also the presentation of the application you're using. And I would like you to present to you what exactly you will be using today. I will showcase the app for everyone now so that you can see how it works. So on Vertly, on the platform, you'll be receiving a link when you registered. You're hopefully all there watching this by now, but you have basically an introduction page where this is your portal to the hackathon, and you can spend click to all the places and reach whatever you want to be during this Webfest. Hopefully, you are now all on the main stage. So if you click on the main stage, you have the video. If I basically also click here on the main stage to embed it, it's possible to embed the main stage and keep being working on Vertly. But let me a bit show you the features of Vertly. So the main stage is obviously what I already explained. So basically it brings you to a video and everybody can see the live. Sorry for the double noise if you heard this. I don't know if it gets forwarded. And you also have the event agenda. So you have all the information that you need to know for the event. You can go to a whole series of rooms where you can find lots of information. I'll describe this in a minute. There is the infamous networking session, which we will go into in a bit. And then, of course, a chat where you can use to talk to everyone, have conversations, but it's not the real purpose to use Webfest, the Vertly for this, but we will use Mattermost. But of course, both are available. Sometimes we'll have some polls, so you'll be able to take up in polls. And so we could have a bit of feedback on how you're doing and how things about the Webfest. The broadcast is nothing for you guys. This is for us to send you messages, but sometimes you'll see a pop-up appear with us giving you a message or some reminder. So it's a good, way to communicate with you. And the backstage again is where we are now to present, but this is not for most of the participants. So when you're in the lobby, this is the entry point. What you will see is a lot of pictures. So the main stage will bring you to the main stage. The networking will directly bring you to the networking session. I'm gonna start explaining this because this is gonna be the next step. So as you join the networking session, you will enter the networking region, and then where you will be requested to select a few of the SDGs which interest you more. And as you do that, you will all be randomly pulled together in rooms of 4 by 4 roughly. That's the maximum number of 4 people in a room. And you will be able to do some encounters. So we've planned for now about like 7 encounters for 7 minutes each, where you'll be able to meet other fellow participants to the Webfest and do things, get to know each other, talk about your ideas and things like that. In addition, once you have the whole weekend to do this, you have some rooms which are dedicated to the SDGs, so you could see them there. You have some rooms where you can meet people from Cern Open Lab, from GluOnNet, Remotely Green, which are all behind the organization of this Webfest. You have some information here on the SDGs you can also click. And then you also have various teams, team rooms. So basically you can talk to the mentors, the organizers. This will always start small video chats with the people in a given room. You can also talk to the jury members. So there is all this information available. In terms of tools, you also have some information about like the Webfest app, where you will be invited to join in a minute, and I will show you how this works. I think I've been a bit through, but really please browse this Vertly session as you need to. So now what I will talk about is the Webfest app. So all of you should have received information to join this app, which is app.webfest.cern. So when you join here, this room in Vertly, I will clean up a bit my screen. You see the login screen of the app, but there is also a chat where you can talk to people. If you have technical problems, for example, sometimes we might tell you, okay, please come on Vertly on the app and we will help debug with you if needed. But hopefully most of the things will be straightforward, so you don't need this. So the app doesn't really work in Vertly because it's the way this is embedded. But if you go on app.webfest.cern, things will look like this in your browser window. I think you can see my screen, just making a little check. Yes, all is good. The app is restricted to the participants who've signed up. So if you have signed up, try to reach us out and see, make sure if it doesn't work, let us know in the help desk. But basically, even if you're not signed up in the app, you could still try to join Mattermost, and then you could see the list of channels that are available. So the announcements is where we will make announcements. You have the help desk, how to ask a mentor for help, and the usual town square. So this is all stuff you can join on Mattermost quite easily. And then you also have the list of challenges. So these are all the challenges that are available for this Webfest. So they are all grouped by basically categories, but you can also look at them all together. And you will soon be requested to select a challenge. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to log in. So basically I will enter my information. So what this does, it simply will send you an email in your inbox so that you can receive a link, a one-time use link to basically join the app. The session should be valid for the whole weekend, so you shouldn't have a problem with that. So I will go ahead and enter that in my browser. And so now I'm basically logged in. So if you are a new participant not assigned to a team, the only options you have is to join Mattermost or basically look at the list of Mattermost channels that exist. But the other things that are of importance, and I would like you to pay attention here because this is really important, is that you will click on challenges and then select a challenge you want. So for example, here, I'm going to select this wildfire emergency challenge. It's very clearly written that you selected challenge is what it is, and feel free to change. If you want to change, you can until 9 p.m. today. So 9 p.m. Cern time, this is roughly in 2 hours and 20 minutes, at which times the teams will be made from the challenges, okay? And this is important because that's how we know people wanting to work together on the same topic will be brought together, okay? So you could see here that what is the challenge you've selected. You can also select them all in the drop-down. So there are many ways to do this. And then as you change it, it's automatically saved. You don't have to do anything more. Now the app has another section as well, which is the program. So in case you have some issues on Vertly or whatever, there's always a convenient way to access the program for the weekend with the sessions. And for example, the opening ceremony will point you back to Vertly, but again, it's the program. Now, very briefly, I'm going to do something in the back end to change the status of the user I'm showing you very quickly to show you what happens once you have a team. So after 9 p.m., everyone will be assigned a team. Some of you already have a team because they were pre-formed challenge teams we were informed of. But basically, we will now be able to show you what happens when you are a team. So give me 1 second. Just a second, refreshing the pages. So now that I have a team, so this user now has a team, you notice that there are a few additional tabs. So first is your team. So you can basically see who else has been assigned to your team. You only have their name information. You don't have much more. This is just so you know at least who are in your team, but not too much about them. And then you can click on the team channel on Mattermost. And when you click this, it will open Mattermost and allow you to come in. Now, I'm not logged in this browser. This is why. Let me just do that. So once you're logged in, you will then straight away go to your channel team on Mattermost. And on Mattermost, like I said, there are all the other channels that are useful for you on the topics, or basically the help desk, the mentor lounge, and all this information. And then going back to the Webfest app, if you go back to the homepage, every time you click on the banner, you can go back to the homepage. Then you have your team's challenge as a reminder what was selected. Here, the team that I chose already had another challenge. This is why it's different, but this is expected at this stage. But you will have the challenge, the team with the challenge you selected. And then during the Webfest, at some point when you guys are ready to make your challenge, what you will be asked to do is here, click one of you, at least the first one who does it, starts it, is to click here on Start Team Project. So when you click on Start Team Project, you can say, you know, what project you want to put in, some tagline, the solution to all problems. And then, for example, you can add a thumbnail or something, but either way, you create now a topic. And then suddenly you have now the team project. Okay, sorry, there must have been, I will check what's going on, but basically, maybe I need to upload something. But basically when the challenge is, you will be able to edit and select all the information about your challenge. And there you can enter a whole deal of information. And when you've done that, you don't have to do anything else. The project is submitted and available. You can edit it until the deadline on Sunday. Just keep in mind that one person at a time can edit it, not everyone together, because the last one who saves, basically it's their version that gets uploaded. So make sure that when you change something, you save quickly, and then if you want somebody else in your team to edit it, but usually what we recommend people is to, work on it together in some other document and then copy all the information, or one takes the responsibility for uploading the project submission. But then there is nothing else to be done, and then the submissions will appear. All submissions will appear under webfest.cern.ch in all submissions. And so you see here, you have one of the submission. Of course, it's empty because I didn't fill anything, but basically you will be asked to provide a description to your solution, which doesn't necessarily have to match the challenge, because sometimes as you go along in the hackathon, things change, you have other ideas. And so the description should match roughly the challenge, but could be different because you tackled the subpart or you went into another direction. Some information on the technologies used, some of things you accomplished during the weekend you're proud of, what are the major obstacles and issues you've had, briefly describe, and then some of your learnings and what you plan to do for the next step. This is what's being public. You will be asked for additional information that the jury will have, but only the jury, they will not be public. And this will help the jury assess all project and decide who deserves a prize or anything like that. So I hope it was pretty clear. We will be on the help desk. So again, on Mattermost, you can here go to the help desk to basically ask any question you have, and we can interact with you and help you out. So I hope that was clear. Feel free to reach out, like I said, but that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Carlos. From the side of Christina and I, we actually have one more slide, so I don't think there's any need for us to go back to the presentation itself. We simply wanted to, give a few reminders and wrap up before we go over to the networking session. So first of all, we want to remind you all that, the event is a competition. It's configured as a competition, of course, but most importantly, it's about having fun. It's about getting to know new people, and it's about sparking creativity and, coming up with innovative ideas. So we want you to come away from the event inspired. We don't want you to, work. We want you to work hard, but not in unhealthy ways throughout the entire weekend. Remember to take breaks. Remember to look out for one another. Check in with your teammates at all times. See how everyone's doing. We want you to have a really great experience, and we're all here to help you do that. So we have a help desk which you can access through the Mattermost channels. We're going to be available, not all of us all of the time, but some of us will be available all of the time, between us. So, just get in touch with us. If you have a question or query, we're there for you. On top of that, we also have our mentors who are here to help you throughout the weekend. We have mentors who, have expertise in a range of different areas. I would like to encourage all of the mentors to give a short introduction to yourselves in the Mattermost channels. If you just tell people who you are and what your areas of expertise are or what you're interested in, then people will know to look out for you and get in touch. That's a great resource. Please do use them. Keep them nice and busy, please. And also, take advantage of the workshops that have been set up. Some of these are fairly specific, some of them are fairly broad, some of them are, more practical, some of them are more high level. But, we encourage you to dip into as many of those as you can throughout the weekend. We're going to keep them really short and targeted, 20 minutes each. So you should all hopefully have time to join those. And as I mentioned, don't forget the fun stuff too. So we've got our exercise session, we've got our quiz tomorrow evening, and again we've got some more networking tomorrow for you all to chat, because you can chat away in text form, but some people prefer to get on the video chat and see the people they're working with and talk with them, and that's a great thing too. So we have all of those things there, and we encourage you to make the most of them. Christina?
Andrew, I apologize, I interject here. Some people had some questions that I would maybe quickly like to address related to what's going on with the sign up. Just give me a second, I'm putting it in the spotlight again. So first off, some people asked what happens with the Mattermost channels. So you can't click on any of the announcement, help desk, or other channels until you first click join Mattermost and then register for those who are not on the system. I was already logged in, therefore I did not need this, but unless you click first on that first link, you will not be able to join the others directly. If you, however, are registered, then you click, you will reach the corresponding channel. So this is important. And second thing is the project detail page needed to refresh. I just mistyped the wrong combination in my browser, but just so I can show you beyond the project details, here is what I said already: the description, technologies used, difficult things you have faced, accomplishments you're proud of, what have you learned, what are your next steps? So this is clear. Some image galleries, some pitch videos. So we all ask you to submit a video pitch, which we will explain to you later how to upload. And then any resources you have, like URLs or anything you can share. For example, if you have a Google document or other provider, you can share the link. Unfortunately, we don't provide hosting for these things, but if you find the many providers online, and you can then provide the link. And then this famous assessment criteria for the jury, so relevance to the hackathon theme. So you make your case and how your project was relevant to this idea of sustainable development goals, a potential for real world applications. So what you can tell about this, what was your progress during the hackathon? So we're aware that some projects started before and maybe have some head start. And of course, it's unfair to count that work towards accomplishments during the hackathon. And therefore, I should say the Webfest, but hackathon is a generic term. But during the Webfest, so we would like to know where the project started, what was accomplished during the Webfest, and so there is no ambiguity there. And then the added value of the project compared, for example, with other projects, quote unquote, on the market. So sorry for this little interruption, but basically, I hope this clarifies some of the questions people had. And without further ado, I give the microphone back to either Christina or Andrew. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed, Carlos. I think I've said everything from my side. Christina, do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I believe we have mostly covered the most important, significantly matters, but I would just like to wish to all our participants to have a great weekend, to enjoy all of this, to interact and meet as much as possible with each other and with the other participants, exchange the ideas. I mean, you're all people from all over the world. This is a great opportunity for you to get to know each other. So just enjoy. And thank you for joining the Webfest 2021. We look forward to really see how your projects evolve over the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you to everyone else behind the scenes, and thank you most of all for all of you, for joining us. I'm now just going to pass over one last time to either Carlos or Daniel, who's going to just remind everyone of how to get across to the networking session, which is going to start right away.
So I will take this again. So once you are, just let me show to everyone the spotlight. So once you are on this page, we invite you to click on networking, or alternatively, you can click on the networking that appears on the left at any time. And once you click networking, I see some people joining. We are not many, so I hope many of you will start clicking there. And I would like to see a few more people. And we invite you to select the SDGs you want to talk about. Like here, I selected 2 of those, so it's very simple. I see some people joining. We will wait a bit until there are more people, of course, on the platform. And as people join, in a few minutes, we will then be starting the networking session. But I guess for this webcast, we will be over now because the networking session will not be broadcast, of course, on this stream. So I would leave it at that now. Back to you, Andrew and Christina, and I think we can close the webcast.
Great. See you all in the networking session then. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.